We got a fun-filled show tonight.
I met a boy today.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General, A60 Army.
She loving my style every time I'm
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited 6 or 8 you down to Nationals.
I'm around.
When certain people don't get their way or they feel slighted, they feel like they have a right to call us and voice their opinion. You don't.
We locked the
I've never removed a staff to allow a staff to move up.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Now everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town.
What up? It's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140. I know shockingly y'all like Mr. Above 140 here, Dolo. I am. The General's on his way. The new Drama Kids Above 140 line. Y'all see it? It's going this way. See it? Get this for y'all kids. I happen to just be wearing one for promotion, but they're for kids. You know, if you got drama kids. I have drama kids. I got all girls. I got drama kids. Anyway, what's up, my people? How y'all doing? We gonna get right into the proceedings this evening with the show that we got. Now, the show we got tonight is gonna be a little controversial, but not too much. What I like about tonight's show is it's gonna give an opportunity for us to talk to coaches and to parents, because we're going to propose questions to y'all. Y'all going to be able to speak back regarding those questions. I think that would be a good thing, because too often I sometimes feel like we're constantly talking to you guys and it's not a back and forth conversation. So I want to make sure we're having a back and forth conversation. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do something on my computer that's not working. It happens from time to time. But hold on. It happens from time to time. So yeah, we're gonna have questions for you guys back and forth. You know. But first we're gonna talk about the landscape of New England youth football. Now, before y'all jump down my throat, I want to say something that I devised a list. I'm gonna put it up so everybody know what I'm talking about. And I know we got people that watch from around the nation. I want y'all to rock with me real quick, because this might be good to do in your areas as well. Nobody don't inbox me, please. Because if you inbox me on Facebook, everybody on the podcast gonna see it. That has been happening and getting people in trouble. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. What's up, man?
What's going on, baby?
Chilling. So I'm about to just share with the people this what I did as far as listing the teams throughout the state of Connecticut. Now, a lot of people came and y'all said, oh, you forgot this team, or you forgot that team, and you forgot this league. Let me tell you something. A lot of the intel we got was from people in leagues that kind of know what's going on. This list is pretty close. Now, it's possible I left some people off. I'm not saying I didn't. But y'all need to realize, before y'all start naming all of these teams that the other leagues got, look at the landscape of where those teams was a year ago. If they don't look like they're getting any better, numbers-wise, that's the intel I got from outside sources. On some people I left off. Now, some I left off I just wasn't aware of. There was conversations about mergers that I heard that I wasn't aware of. Whether it is or it isn't, Tito, I didn't know. But this list is pretty close, Tito. And in some cases, you even see the moves, right? Like, let's take Nutmeg. You see the South Windsor move here. Somebody just said that move is supposed to happen in a week. They don't even know how I know. Right?
I just found out about that Southington Wolverines team. That's not the Southington Knights. What's that? The old Venom team? I seen a Southington Wolverines.
Yes, and Nutmeg. I don't know who that is.
Interesting.
I didn't know. But anyway, people were not happy with this. And now, so, Tito, I'm going to tell you what this list tells me. It tells me, just like we always say, most youth football does not entail AYF or Pop Warner.
No.
The dominance of youth football is not the National League, a national path. The dominance of youth football in America still remains local football. Some people want to say developmental. I'll say local football. And another thing, Tito, it tells me is there is no more local travel in youth football on a national track. I want everybody out there to get out of your mind the thought that you will travel 15 to 40 minutes to get a whole schedule in your season. Like in a national track, that's not where we at nationally. And then that's in a lot of regions, Tito. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Florida, you got Florida Elite that's local, big league, right? When
Bro, it takes 8 hours to get.
It
takes 8 hours to get across Florida, probably more.
But Florida Elite's so large that they can schedule you in your area and you could get games. If you look at the list of teams,
right? But people got to get used to. People gonna have to get used to traveling a couple times a year for 2 hours. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's the way it's been for us.
2 hours. I mean, even if it's 50 minutes, that's whatever.
Up to 2 hours. I mean, at least from my experience, the last 5 years, a couple times a year, at least once a year, I'm in Mass. Once a year, I'm in Rhode Island. In the spring, we're always out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it has become.
I mean, and it looked like if you look at the numbers, some leagues going to have to decide if they're going to go the same level. I would assume AYFCT's having that conversation. Southern and
you got to clarify what you're talking about.
So I mean, I don't know. They said it's some other teams, but if this list is correct, I would put to you that I would say we're all going out or we're all going even, so we have a game every week. Because on this list is 4 teams go 12U and 3 go 11U. Well, AYF is different because you could actually play 11U versus 12U. Pop Warner, you can't. Right? Like you can't play 11U versus 12U, 13U versus 12U, 10U versus 9U, 8U versus 9U, 13U versus 14U. Pop Warner have rules and stipulations that you can't do that.
Fairfield County and Shoreline, I believe, are all grade-based. And I believe, is Nutmeg grade-based?
I'm not sure. Nutmeg might be every 2 years. I think you're right.
Fairfield County, I believe, is grade-based, and so is Shoreline. The rest of these guys, I don't know what they're doing for structures, to be honest with you. I know what we do on the Pop Warner side.
Peace River and Florida, all games are local. Most travel 45 to an hour. So Polo, what I'm trying to say is, if you could consider up to an hour local, then you should be somewhat good. Here, it used to be people were traveling in the heyday, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you had your 8 games. I'm saying, like you guys, you got to consider 45 minutes to an hour as local now, because it just don't seem like local is 10, 20 minutes anymore. Not in the youth football world. We know nationally numbers dropping. And you know, you make one bad decision as a league executive, and a team wants to leave and go to somewhere else because they're upset. So you get that constant jump around in that movement. And I seen the comment that Shoreline is the strongest league, top to bottom. He feels Central is. I don't I don't think Shoreline's the top to bottom. We have 10 to 20 minute games too. Yeah, which I think right. I think that's why I said 15 minutes to an hour. Like I think that you'll get some, 10 to 20, but there's also going to be games that's an hour away, and I think that that's how it should go. Vincent said the same with FYD. That's Florida Pop Warner. Yeah, I think that that's the norm in youth football. That it didn't used to be the norm. What up, M? That didn't used to be the norm, but that became the norm. So I don't know, Tito. I think if teams in New England is going to stay travel, it's time to think of creative ways. I'm gonna tell you something I heard. I was talking to somebody. I ain't gonna say his name because I ain't get approval. And he said, you know what we might just do? Instead of spending $10,000 across the season on buses, we might get gas cards. And on away games, anybody that's putting a bunch of kids in a car, Tito, I hand you a $70 gas card. Bang. You got 3 or 4 kids, here goes $70. And so all this out the season, they just giving out gas cards to the parents that's willing to carpool the kids. The ones that's doing multiple. If you're driving your kid, you're driving your kid, bro. But if Tito got a minivan and Tito packing up 7, 8, I'm going to bang Tito with a gas card. I think that's the type of creative stuff that we have to start. What up, Keith? I think that's the type of creative stuff we got to start. Central is the strongest conference, in my opinion. Stronger than Southern. Of course, we the champs. We are the champions, baby, like Cameron said. And yeah, so I took the time to put this list together. I thought it was important. I just wanted to see it. Now, I see somebody write.
Here's something that nobody talks about. That SNEYC is the biggest conference in Connecticut.
Yes, you're right. Let's go to it right here.
Yeah.
They are number 1. This is the biggest league in Connecticut. SNEYFC. Here they go. There's the team.
I don't even
this
know.
This New London team is supposed to be new. I think that
Whaling City.
Whaling City. Your Whaling City. I know that they wanted I mean, from what I heard, the league they were in wasn't really conducive to the town. And so they thought it'd be better to go. I mean, with this many towns right around you, it's hard not to want to go.
Bro, even the teams that are from Rhode Island, they're right there outside of Connecticut. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Westerly is Rhode Island.
Westerly's right there over the line. That's right over the line. It shares with Pawcatuck. So that's like being in Connecticut. What up, Cuddy?
Sean, when you say and growing, are you talking about the SNEYFC? Are you guys growing?
Yeah, I believe they are. Look at it. That's a good league.
Set up a scrimmage. Hurricanes 12U want smoke. Who out there want smoke? Polo, bring y'all 12U up. I was just saying that the furthest we would travel would be 40 to an hour, but the majority of the games is 15 to 25 minutes away. Oh, I got you. Hey, Sean, what teams y'all growing by? You care to drop a name? Come on, make breaking news, brother. We love breaking news. Who, Sean? Who y'all taking? Tell us. Better not be no team from Central, Sean. Who y'all got? But no, Tito, yeah, it's the largest league in the state of Connecticut. They don't get a lot of WPTP Hawks used to be in Central. I think Central was a little football-wise a little bit too dominant, I think, for the WPTP Hawks. But they did well. I think they made a championship game at 12U one year, and they got beat by
Stafford Springs. Stafford Springs is not in that league? Where's Stafford Springs at?
Stafford Springs is in the CTYFL, Tito.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Yep. Stafford, I think, is in Stafford right Bulldog. They also was in Central Connecticut Pop Warner. Again, it was one of them small town leagues that didn't really feel like they could compete. Central got good football. We come to play, so you know, it's
What up, God?
I heard Norwich was talking about going to the SNEYFC.
We heard that.
I did
heard
hear that. Leagues are in talks now. Norwich has also had some interest. I will tell you. Nah, I gotta be quiet. Anyway, yeah. Well, let's leave it there, Tito. Don't lie. They not putting up no smoke in that league. No. Listen, Stafford. They were good peoples. I was cool with their president, Jarrett. WPTP. I didn't know a lot of people. I know they WBTP cheer is in Central Connecticut, Pop Warner, and you know I got a lot of respect and love for the cheer program. We get along great. We work well together. Football wise, it was a little tough for them to compete because Central Connecticut, Pop Warner got some strong football programs. If you look on this list, Tito, we got the programs here play. You got Bloomfield, Boston Raiders, you got Chicopee, you got Hartford Hurricanes, Manchester, Benton, Florida, Mount Hope. We know what they do. Springfield's up and coming. Have more teams. We know Waterbury about it. You know West Elmwood about it. Windsor was in Florida just a couple years ago. Almost every team in our league has been to Florida in the last 5 years, Tito, except Chicopee and Boston. So almost every program have represented nationally in our league. That says a lot about the level of play. And so I think that's what have you heard about the Rock Hoppers doing a pop in the fall in Worcester? I can't speak on any conversations I've had personally as a league administrator, but I have not heard much about that at all, to be honest with you. I have not heard much about that at all. Yeah. Hey, Bob, why? Are you guys interested? Holla at me, Bob. Tell me. Is it happening?
A couple times a year.
If it's happening, Bob, let me know. Inbox me. Not right now because my screen is up, but inbox me. Yeah. So, Tito, let's get in our first topic of the day because I think it's important that we talk about real stuff, right? And I think we should talk about look, it's not meant to cause a back and forth with towns, right? Like that's not what we're trying to do. But Tito, can you please tell me something?
What's up?
Let me remove this comment. Or everybody out there, I need y'all to tell me something. Because I'm getting so tired of hearing this. Somebody posted this the other day. The Hurricanes 10 you be ducking smoke. It was a troll account. I don't know who it was. But anyway, what does ducking smoke mean? I have never saw somebody on a schedule and decided I wasn't going to play somebody because they were good. Like, can y'all define for me, coaches out there, what does ducking smoke mean? I see it on every chat room. Y'all ducking smoke. You're ducking smoke over there. Like, what does ducking smoke mean? I'm going to tell y'all right now, if it means you don't have games and I do, but you think my opponents aren't worthy of playing me, so I should remove them to play you because your league don't have games, that is not ducking smoke. That's just me not deciding I want to play you because I'm not about to alter my schedule to accommodate you and the fact that you don't have games. That's not ducking smoke. And so I want to know what is ducking smoke. Can somebody please, right now, tell me.
Open it up. Open it up to the comments. I'm dying to hear this.
Because everybody says everybody's ducking smoke. How are you ducking smoke? If you get a schedule and you beat the people on your schedule, you're winning. Don't nobody know who's going to be good before the season. Like if I got 8 games, I play 8 games, I ain't duck no smoke. I don't care who in some other league or some private league or across the street that team is considered good too. And they want to play you because y'all both undefeated. If I play my 8 games and I play all my games and I win, I'm the champion of my league. I don't have to prove I'm the champion or I'm better than you. I have to be the best in Central Connecticut, Pop Warner, than New England. That's it. That's what my goal. That's what I got to be. Santa Margarita 11U had 2 teams that wouldn't play us, and one of the games was in the playoffs last year. That's coming up. That's the next topic.
Oh
Now,
yeah, that's
I will
absolutely.
agree that is duck and smoke. If you're scheduled to play someone, and so Brad, you're right about that. If you're scheduled to play someone and you opt out of playing them just because you're going to lose, you got enough players, all your coaches is there. You can get in the lab, come up with a game plan. It don't matter if you don't get beat by 30. Maybe you can keep it close and you lose by 13.
Nah, those days are over. Those days are over. The competitive spirit.
We're not gonna go to that one yet.
I know, but competitive spirit is no longer
but the
part
duck
of
and
the
smoke
equation.
theory, and they are tied in. But duck and smoke to me only means me and Tito scheduled to play each other, and Tito back out the game. Anything other than that, Tito, I don't think is duck and smoke. I don't think Tito's duck and smoke because your 12U this year, Tito, gets 8 games against 8 different opponents, and you win all 8, and I'm in League C, and I'm undefeated, and I say, Tito, play me. And Tito go, nah, bro, I got practice this week, and I got a playoff game. Man, Tito duck and smoke. No, that's not called duck and smoke. That's called preparation. Right? Colorado don't play Miami on a Wednesday because they both undefeated because Colorado or because Miami got Alabama on Saturday. That's not how football works. It's funny in the youth football world, we make up these things and these rules, and I sometimes feel like I was driving today, and I was saying to myself, how would our space change, Tito, if people got salaries? Every youth football coach, what if we all got a salary? Instantly, how would our space change? I would love to be able to do that because I think it would change so much for the better. One, I think bad coaches would get winged out because if you're going to pay now, you can hold the standard. But the thing I also thought about was the professionalizing youth sports, our space, right? You wouldn't have people going up there saying Tito duck and smoke when you got an 8-game season. Like, I had an 8-game season at 9U, and I had people trolling me all year about my 9U duck and smoke. I literally had 8 games, Tito, a playoff game, a championship game, a state championship game, and a regional championship game, all in the line. And during the season, I didn't play nobody twice. But I was duck and smoke.
Yeah,
like I don't get it. Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to literally shun my own league to play somebody else just to prove to that person I ain't duck and smoke? If not, I got to see online that we duck and smoke. And it hit today. Again, Don Trey said Central Mass did Mount Hope's schedule, and we had games canceled because the teams didn't want to play us because we were in their league, but wasn't in their league, but was on their schedule. Now, look, again, if you're scheduled to play a team and you don't play that game for no other reason other than I'm going to lose, to me, I think that's the only duck and smoke that can exist. A coach didn't play the last game of the regular season because he wanted his team to end on a win.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the world we live in now. Like that. That's
crazy.
beyond. That's beyond my level of. That's beyond my level of comprehension. You want to. We're gonna have to lead the next topic because there's no way around it.
So
because we're there.
Which also leads.
We're in the age. We're in the age of like that's just some beta shit. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like people can't get games, but yet we know year after year. We know year after year, there's people that don't go to games, that opt out of their games for whatever reason. It's been going on for the last 10 years. There's people that won't show up to play the honor games. There's people, if they feel they can't win in the playoffs, won't show up in the playoffs. We're in the era of nobody wants to compete no more. Nobody wants to compete. You're supposed to honor the schedule you're given. You honor the opponent you're supposed to play. If you get a bad draw in the playoff, you go and you walk the plank and take your ass kicking. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But at least you showed up. There's always a lesson in showing up and finishing and trying to die on your feet and not your knees. There's always a lesson in that. I know people don't want to hear it, but just as well you take the wins, you got to be able to take the losses too.
How about when they say it's not safe? I don't know what that means exactly. Like, I don't know if they mean that my kid is going to get hit harder than a team that's not as good. So I got a higher chance of getting hurt. To me, again, if you're on a
Usually
schedule,
when you get to the playoffs, you're playing a somewhat decent team. You ain't playing the worst of the worst. A playoff game should never be not safe.
So here's the thing. It doesn't matter if that's what referees are for, Tito. That's what a medic, like, I don't understand. The kids aren't about to take off their helmet and start hitting people, right? I mean, they're going to play football. And if I tackle you with a form tackle and I put you on the ground, then that's a safe game. That's the game. That is the game that we chose to play, right? That's not unsafe because it's going to be hard. I'm not supposed to hit you soft. I've never heard a coach say, run up to him hard as you can, pick him up, and hit him softly, man. I don't understand. To me, that was the argument that league up there, and we not mentioning them no more. So when y'all talked about that list, that league up there, Tito, was saying about our program, right? Oh, well, we don't want to have to play so-and-so because we don't want our kids subjected to getting hurt. As if our children is more violent at the game of football than not. The game will always remain tackling, blocking, running, passing. Like, no matter where you at, Tito, those things will remain the same. You will have to block, you will have to tackle, and you will have to run the ball. I guess pass the ball too but those are the elements of the game. It don't change whether you playing a really, really good town or really, really bad town. They're going to block, tackle, run, and pass. Those four things will happen in a football game. And so I just don't understand that theory. Every organization needs to make coaches go through an interview process. No more letterhead coaches pick their staff because that's their boy. Just because it's a volunteer doesn't mean we should make sure the best adults are out there with the best intentions for our youth. Stop showing up high, always late, sending your kids on laps every 6 minutes because you don't have a practice plan. It's true. That excuse is a cop-out. I agree, Nick. I just don't understand it. If played on the same level and youth teach safe football, there's no way it shouldn't be safe. I agree. Mark said, he had a situation where a coach was talking trash to 8-year-old kids over a personal issue with one of his coaches. It got chippy. His team should not have been in the playoff, but technically was. There was a large gap from the 2 and the 3s in the bottom. He felt that it was best to not put his kids through the situation a second time. Thoughts? Mark, I think you should have played the game.
Yeah,
if you're asking me, Mark, I think you should have notified the refs. It's an 8U, right? Notified the refs of the situation. Ask the refs to call the staffs in the middle, right? Again, addressing the situation. Coaches are already on the field at the 8U level. I think that you should have got there and you should have played your game. Even if y'all lost, I think you could have talked your kids through the lesson of the day. That no matter what happened, no matter what nobody say to you, no matter what nobody do, no matter the threats, you stand on your square. That you've been put in this position. And Mark, last thing I'm going to say is, I said before, I went down to National Pop Warner, right? When it was in Disney World. And I went to buy something to eat, and I was talking to these kids that just won a national championship in Division II. It was Miami, TA, and then Miami. And I said to them, yo, I'm going to buy y'all food, man. Congratulations. And they was like, yo, we were sorry. I said, what are you talking about? They just won a national championship, had their red hats. He said, we were sorry. We started off 1-3.
0-4 or 0-4.
0-4.
Yeah.
Right? We ran off the last 4 games, went 500, got into the playoffs, and ran off and won the national title game. The game of football is so much like life in that you don't know who's going to win until you play the game, Mark. That's all I'm going to say. Like, they could have fumbled 9 times. They could have had their worst game. Your kids could have played out of their mind. You might have got fumbled in the next game.
You
but
never
I
know
think
what's
you
going
should
to
play, my brother. Go ahead, T.
I think you never know what can happen.
Yeah. That's why you play the game. Hey, much respect. Niche, what's up, Niche?
What up, Niche?
How you doing?
Tyson. I'm going to call her Tyson.
Favorite games was from the Lynn Rams and the Cowboys. Why not the Hurricanes? Y'all only beat us by 6. Just saying, brother. That was a banger game too, though. But so yeah, so Tito, look, when it comes to the other thing we have to discuss, coaches stop going to the referees, speeding up the game because you can't win and you know you're going to lose by a lot. That's also an injustice.
But yeah, no, it's crazy how that goes on too. And
that's
refs
also an injustice because there's NPR kids that only plays when the team is getting blown out. That's an opportunity for good teams to build their NPRs up. So if your lowest NPR are 3, the games I blow people out, I might be able to get my 3s to a 7. So I can't play no less than a 7. And then I'm thwarted that opportunity because you got coaches that throw in the towel, tell the ref, speed it up, man. We trying to get up out of here. That's unfair. You got to play the game.
Right. But when they're on the opposite side of it, they want to be beating Cats by 50, 60 points. They'll try to beat Cats by 50, 60 points. We seen it last year. Somebody that tapped out against us one week, but the next week when they could take it to a team they could take it to, they tried to hang 40 on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, bro.
AYF New England need to stop with these automatic regional championship bids. Yo, Rudolph, what up? Hey, yo, listen. Hey, Rudolph, true story. I got a picture that I looked at today on my computer, and I was almost going to send it to you, but I didn't because you was going to clown me. I'm going to tell you why. It's the national championship game, and Blaze is running down the sideline, and a photographer got me looking at your son as he's about to take off, and that's when he scored that touchdown down the left side. And it's a dope pick, and I wanted to post it, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not giving you this type of ammunition, brother. So I kept it to myself. That's a true story. It just happened today. Favorite postseason game was East Bay, Lower Perk. West Haven was a good game. I gotta admit. Yeah, man, Tito. I don't know. I think maybe guys who's overseeing the referees, maybe we gotta start talking to the referees, asking the referees, listen, do not speed up the game.
It's not even though you may do
speed this game up. They don't get a right to tell you to run the clock.
Yeah. You did the right thing last year when you went full board with the Chicopee board. They're by far the most professional board I've ever dealt with the last 20 years. Because the guys in Connecticut think they're doing you a favor by reffing the game. And they're not managing the clocks correctly. They're not giving the kids a fair chance. It's not up to the referee or up to the coach who's on the other side on the wrong side of how things are going to push the clock. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You guys don't have that right, and it's sad that it's come to this point. But we see it happen. We see it happen all the time, and it's happening more and more frequently, year after year. People just deciding not to finish what they signed up for, and that's
hey Jordan. Not right. This is before you get to 28. When teams know they can't win and you up 22, they telling the ref, man, run it. And you know refs want to get out of there, right? And so the referee is letting that thing tick. But Jordan want to get in his NPRs. Let those kids ball out today. Today's their day. Take your starters out. Let your NPRs rock for 2 or 3 quarters so they can get their play on, score a couple touchdowns, build up their confidence. They don't get the opportunity because guys is speeding up the game. That's unfair. Most refs trying to get out of there. Exactly what I just said. Well, they trying to get out of there. So if they get an opportunity to speed it up, they're going to speed it up. They love running clocks. You crazy? They make the same amount of money whether the game is an hour or 2 hours. 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours, hour and a half. They the same amount. They're getting their 85, 95, whatever you're paying them. So you have to think about that, right? When we talk about the running clock situation. And I just think that we should all do each other a justice. Now, look, I'll be real. I would just go to Tito and say, T, look, man, my team ain't really that good, bro. I'm not going to tell them to run a clock. I'm not going to boom, boom, boom. But, you know, let's play. But when you go up a dub, you mind throwing in your backups, bro, and letting them bang with my kids. So I'm conceding that probably, Tito, you got me. I don't watch film. First of all, I would never really actually do this myself. I got too much pride. But for the coaches that's willing to do that, have a conversation with the coach first. because I think at least, and I've had a lot of coaches do that to me, Tito. You'll feel, bro, we ain't got the team, bro. Take it easy. And of course you do. These are kids. No, you know, Tito, I've had situations where I did not like the other coach. And I came in the game and I told my kids, if they get a first down, I swear y'all run till y'all 18 years old. And then you get up 20-0, and then you start to be like, what am I doing, bro? Like, this dude is not even the one getting plummeted. It's the kids on the field. So then you turn the dial down. Communication will help that. If you really not like that, go tell them, no, you ain't tapping out. I'm going to play, or don't say nothing. Then at halftime, Tito up 27-0. Then you can say, yo, T, yo, my kid's trying to tap out, bro. I'm trying to teach them a lesson. If you don't mind, like, let some of your other kids run the ball this half. So at least Tito can finish a whole nother half of football, and I get to teach my kids the lesson that we don't quit. That's just my little 2 cents. We had a team ask for refs to end the game at the end of the first quarter because we was up 30-0. We said no. We have kids that haven't played yet. They ended the game at halftime. Wow.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
because the refs and the other team ain't got to deal with the parents who kids didn't get the mandatory plays. True, AYF needs to stop letting these automatic bids in the regional championship games. Yeah, well, can I, Tito, I'm not even going to ask it. Tito, you've been at AYF. Here's a question that somebody asked me and I couldn't answer. Do AYF got regional staff show up to their regional games?
I mean, they used to.
Like, is there like a regional staff, like Pop Warner? You've been at Pop Warner Regional, where the whole staff shows up to their championship games?
No, it used to be like that eons back. I haven't been. Now it's been some time since I've been over there. It's 5-6 years. It used to be where it was you had regional at the state level.
Brody, can you answer that? You just came from the regional championship. Like, was your regional president, regional vice president?
Well, I went to the regional championship this year over there. I didn't see. They didn't have their whole regional staff out there when I went over there to Lawrence this year. I didn't see. At least I didn't see them, and I was there watching Pal both games when they played Dorchester.
You gotta talk about coaches who don't duck smoke and know their team really ain't that good, but will play a team full of dogs. Those coaches ain't going out to play. They throwing them kids in the fire so they get clowned for.
They don't get clowned for ducking smoke.
So they don't get clowned. Well, that's what's supposed to happen, right? Like Tito, Western Michigan don't not play Alabama.
Oh yeah, nah, but they get in the bag for that. That's a bad analogy, bro.
I mean, no. All the kids aren't. Everybody don't have an NIL deal.
The school is though,
huh?
But when those schools like Western Michigan take them big
way before all of this, do you know of a college that forfeited a game because they were scared?
You can't. But we even saw it at the high school level this year.
We did see it at the high school. We saw it at the high school. It was the female head coach too, right?
It happened to be the female head coach that decided, we're not going to Windsor on a Tuesday night to get, and she got fired the next day, and they should have fired her. She deserved to get fired. Yep. She deserved to get fired.
You don't not play the game in high school football. You gotta teach these kids lessons. You ain't always
going. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen here neither. It shouldn't happen down here neither. You're not always gonna win in life. What up, KR? You ain't always gonna win in life, bro. I know nobody likes to lose, and everybody thinks it's not okay to lose. But the bottom line is, you're up when you win. You got to learn how to take it when you lose too. That's part of competing. It's just part of it. You got to take the good with the bad, and people don't want to do that no more. People don't want to compete. It's a sad state of affairs. Nobody wants to compete. Hey,
Giselle, what team did your son play for? Do you know what team her son played for? I know a team ducking the rematch. I'm assuming. I think she's from Springfield, right? Giselle, so. You from Springfield? So you must be talking about Springfield won at what levels? 12U and 13. So I'm assuming she's talking about one of those. Those scholarship kids, they know what they're getting into. That's true. I mean, somewhat they know what I guess you're right. College football are the most elite amongst us. So I don't expect them to duck. But with coaching kids, every football coach in America say, I'm teaching life lessons. I'm teaching life lessons. And then the life lesson comes, and it's a hard pill to swallow. So we go, I'm going to teach life lessons, but I'm going to skip this one. Can't do that. Springfield Tigers 13U. Who's ducking smoke with your Springfield Tigers 13U? Who's ducking the rematch? Say it, Giselle. We won't tell nobody. 100% if they on the schedule. Yes, of course. 100%. And yeah, Tito. So, I mean, I'll just finish it here, man. I think that we as a community got to help each other out, right? If I can't win, why can't I ask Tito to put in his NPRs and give my kids some confidence and maybe they could try to play a little better? You got another kid, dog. Like,
I would never.
Me forfeiting against Tito don't give me confidence.
We've all walked into games that we know we can't win. You go, you take it on the chin, you go home. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. You live to see another day. I mean, that's how it goes.
The LCF Chiefs, Springfield. Said you guys,
right, but that's that whole. We're not revisiting that whole thing. We're not revisiting that whole thing. With that, that's the whole. The 13U was all that happened with the kid that played up, played down. They took the title from Springfield. Gave it to We're not reliving that.
It's more than football. We are more than young men, right, David? And I think we all got to.
You don't win every fight. And you don't win every fight. Nobody wins every fight. There's character to be built by how you carry yourself after a loss. Do you lay down and keep losing, or do you fight for the next week? I mean, this.
Oh, listen to me. I do not subscribe to loser mentality. It ain't no, I don't care about winning. You cannot coach in the Hurricanes if you don't care about winning. You will never hear a Hurricane coach say they don't care about winning, bro. Do you know the dude? I posted that meme that was funny. Hey, coach, you want that little ass trophy? Yes. We want the little ass trophy in Hartford. Yes, we want it. God damn it. Little, big, small, wide, medium. We want the trophy coming back to the hood. We want it in Hartford. We want to hoist it. We want to hoist that little glass ball that Pop want to give out at the end of the year. We want it. Okay? If nobody else in the nation wants it, we in Hartford gladly will take it. So, yes, we want it. I don't care what y'all think about us. I don't care how y'all feel, because we are comfortable in our own skin. The same thing like Shador Sanders was preaching up at that mic. I don't care how nobody feel. We do want the trophy. So if y'all don't want it, cool. Your kids going to play like that. They're going to play like they don't give a damn. Football, to me, is more mental than it is physical. I think it starts here. You ever heard somebody, he can't get it because he's in his head? You can have amazing talent, but if the mental ain't right, the talent won't come together. Uncle Tito will blow a team out by 40 rather than putting the NPRs. Boo-hoo, Giselle, we can't revisit that. Y'all already fought over that. I may be scolded for saying that, but hey, these kids don't want to be on a losing team nowadays. The kids is different. So that's the next subject, Jordan. Stay on. We're going to have a conversation.
That's a whole.
There's no such thing as a moral victory. We absolutely want to win 1,000%. So the next subject becomes, since we all talking about that, and this one might be a little bit more controversial for everybody out there, but I think it's a question to be asked. And here's the question.
Why you keep putting up the old?
Here we go. Is it okay to be selfish in your development? And should that supersede winning? Now, let me put this out there for y'all so y'all understand. If I got a parent playing for Tito, we're winning, but my kid personally isn't developing in football. Is it okay for me to take my kid off a Tito team, put him on Phil's team, where we may not win, but my kid is going to develop more? So is it okay to be selfish in my child's development and put that kid on and put him on a team where his development is going to come first and winning is going to come second? That's not contrary to wanting to win. That doesn't mean that the kid don't want to win. That means if his development comes at a cost of losing in a championship game, as opposed to going to Florida, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think absolutely.
I say the parents
should be.
Go to the coach that's developing your child, especially at 11U, 12U, 13U. Especially, I say it's okay. Stop worrying about what the coaches say. Stop caring how the coaches feel. Most of these coaches is not writing that process with you through high school. I'm not talking about them coming to your game. That's not writing the process with you. It's not writing the process that they come and sit in the stand and say, yo, I was at your game. That's good. That's moral support and that's love, but that ain't the process. Your child riding that bench in high school because he's underdeveloped, but he went to Florida 9 times, or your child starting went to Florida once in high school. What do we choose? What comes first, right? Everybody says development, but let's be honest. Do y'all not know programs, kids, parents that are making those decisions? They're not with coaches developing their child, but they're on good teams. Maybe not going to Florida, but they're on good teams. And they just want to be winners, so they stay there. Even though you like, damn, dog, you've been playing tackle all your life. You've been with the same coaches. You play running. I think you're a skill player, but you're on right tackle because that's what you've been since you've been 7 for the same coach. That's that moving up with coaches thing that I tell you, not necessarily, Tito, I always agree with, because sometimes, yes, we here for the kids doing what's best for your child. Brad, we say that, but when a parent do what's best for their child and it's not in your best interest, I think that we, as coaches, it do cause some tension. Like, if I'm going to be honest, it causes some tension when my kid leaves field program and jump into Tito's program. It's some tension about that. Especially, he may not be my stud, but he's a kid that I may have depended on to fill a void for us. We're getting kids for a certain amount of time. The child got to work on his craft in the off season or on off days. True, but he's with you. Look, it was a stat, Tito, we put up, right? You put up. And it talked about how much practice versus how much game time.
95%, 94% of your time will be in training, either off-season training, summer training, practice. You train 94% of the time for 6%. That, you know, when you break down how many games to the hours of practice, it's about 6%. You're trying to be perfect for the 6%. That's what everything else is about. You better learn how to practice. I've said this many times on the podcast.
So
what
Jordan,
you're paying for, what you're paying for when you join a good program is you're hoping that the coach you have is teaching your kids how to practice correctly with proper techniques at whatever given position they're given. You're hoping they're learning proper techniques and learning transferable skills that are going to move on with them to the next level. That's what you're hoping for happens. Now, we know that doesn't happen with the creation of super teams and hood hopping. We know that don't happen. But the most important thing you're ever going to learn how to do in this space, if you're with a good staff and a good coach, is learn how to practice properly. That's the most important thing that you need to focus on with your child during these years, in my opinion.
Development supersedes winning at the moment. Absolutely, do what's best for the kids. And again, I know we say do what's best for the kids, but the truth of the matter is, us in the coaching community, we got to get to a place where we got to stop taking it so personal when people don't decide to do that. No, you know, it ain't that. Let me rephrase that, because it's not always that. We got to stop taking it so personal when a parent look at us and say, I don't think you're the right person to develop my child. Right? Like, I may take a kid off of Tito's team and bring him to Phil and say, Tito, my child isn't developing. And you're going to go, you know how much knowledge I got? I know this and I know this and I know this. We got to stop thinking in that realm, because every coach can't get through to every child. And you might have the same practice habits you teaching, Tito. It may teach, Milroe how to be the greatest quarterback, but it didn't work for Phil, and I didn't learn nothing from it. That's football. I mean, that is football, dude. Saban let Jalen Hurts go, who I think is the greatest college football.
Listen, we don't always get it. I've said it 1,000 times. Listen, we always don't get it right neither. Kids develop, especially at the ages we deal with them. it all comes in different waves. Some grow quick, some grow slow, some catch on quicker, some don't. Some are slow their first 5 years, and all of a sudden in year 6, they're superstars. We've seen it all happen in all ways on the spectrum. I've seen it, crazy things happen. We don't always get it right neither. But like I said, what you hope for as a parent, at least I would with my sons, is that they're with a program that's teaching them how to practice correctly, teaching them foundational techniques that are transferable to when they move on to high school. That's what you're hoping happens. Does that always happen that way? No, but that's what you're hoping happens.
Thoughts on following a coach for development? I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think that if my daughter runs track, if I find a great track coach, and I think she can help my daughter on her path, bro. You know this, Tito. I flew my daughter to Chicago, bro, to practice with a track coach on one Saturday. We flew out to Chicago.
You went to Cleveland, though.
I mean, yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
You stopped at Chicago on the way back with the flight.
We flew to Ohio for her to practice with a coach that I want her to go with. So, of course, I believe in following coaches that's developing your child. I'm all for that. My own personal opinion. I think one of the problems I see with parents and kids today is that they don't understand that not everyone is a superstar on football team need glue guys to win.
Yeah. You need those guys in the middle. That's what he's talking about.
Different situations to develop. But myself, I'd rather a kid have to stick it out and find out his role on a winning team. But that may be hard if the coach isn't developing you, though. That's the question, Colin. Like, I get what you're saying, and I agree. It's too much. But what if you're not being developed? What if you don't see your child from 9 to 11? He has gotten no better. He still can't catch, but they had him at wide receiver all both years. He don't know how to run a slant, a post corner. Don't know a drag route. Don't know how to stalk block. He don't know how to do any of those things. But he's been at wide receiver for them. That's the kind of what we're talking about.
Well, I think what you're getting at is when you're talking about on winning team, and we've seen this, and I've seen it, we've all seen this happen. You get with a good team that has a lot of talent, but nobody around has gotten any better. But they're a good team because they're more talented than everybody. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it happen. It happens. And I think sometimes winning
heals all the ailments, brother. Let's be honest.
No, but what I'm saying is sometimes winning, not only does it cure the ailments, but sometimes winning, you lose sight of, when you're chasing winning, you lose sight of the development part of it. You know, the development part doesn't become as prevalent for some people because all they see is the big picture, is what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Instead of
how you win, I would say how you win matters. If you go through a season, you win it by 6 and 2 and 5 and 2 and 1 and tie. Guess what? You on your goddamn grind. Tito.
Listen, sometimes you lose.
One mistake is gonna cost you a game, and so you sharpen it still. Now, if you win at 30 and 30 and 30 and 30 and 30, let's be honest. Me and Tito talking at practice. I'm in your practice. You in mine, bro. Who we got? Oh, they 1-6, man. We in practice talking, bro.
Right, and I think that it happens to anybody when you're too successful. You start to take your foot off the gas. What's going on, baby? How you doing, Kennedy? You start to take your foot off the gas, and you start, you're not as detailed as you once were. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that all of it plays into it, and therefore it can cloudy up your vision on what's best for your child, and it has happened. I think you always, to get back to the point, though, I think you always need to find the best situation for your son, and you need to find a coach that you feel is going to develop your son. That doesn't always translate to winning.
What would you say to coaches from down south that cut their rosters for nationals? Would you say they aren't developing children? I don't know what they did with the kids.
I know their coach is different than ours. I'll tell you their coach is different than ours.
I don't know what they do up into nationals, Jordan, but you could potentially develop kids over the course of a season and just not take them for the national tournament. That's possible. Now, I will say this. In Florida, I played 2 teams that only had 17 kids. I ain't gonna knock the 2 programs. I'm just gonna say that it's hard for me to believe that both teams only had 17 kids total come out for them that year. And the national champion only had 16 kids. So, look, I'm not going to cast no stone on none of the programs. I ain't in their community. I ain't doing their registration. But it's tough to beat teams because we don't operate like that in New England, right? That's sports in general. All coaches have different styles and mesh with different people. That's true. This season, we have our high school programming running an off-season coaches program for all of our coaches to teach them the high school program, drills, what to look for, plays, etc., to create a development program for the bottom through high school. You know, I would love to do that in Hartford, Tito, except the high schools in Hartford isn't really locked in with the youth programs.
No, there's too many.
At least not early. Winning does make everything tolerable. That is true. Now we're getting into a different topic. Now we're talking about dudes creating super teams and relying on talent.
Well, it's all part of the, to me, hold on, Greenman. To me, it's all part of the same problem. Like that, I think that's all part of the conversation. The hood hopping, the creation of super teams. What we're trying to say is to keep it on point here, that sometimes what you lose in that situation is you lose sight of the development of your child. Because winning cures all ailments. Winning makes things more tolerable. Like some of the comments we've seen, I think you're able to lose sight of what's important when you're very successful. I think that absolutely does happen. I think it's all related, is my point. I believe it's all related.
I would say that to have a super team, quote, a super team, you can very much have a super team, at least in New England, and not, you can very much have a super team in New England and not develop and still win. I think Ty Carter comment says it best. Bad coaches win a lot of football games. Tito, you and I talk about one specific coach. He's horrible. His practice script is horrible. Everything about him horrible, but he's one of the most successful youth football coaches.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Right? He wins a lot of youth football games.
He doesn't even run real schemes. It's unbelievable. But this is part of coaching. If you could get people to believe in your bullshit, it works as well, too. That's a part of coaching. I hate to admit it. I don't like it. But getting kids to buy into your bullshit, that's part of coaching.
Hey, we have a different football culture up here. We do. We have a completely different culture.
Well, the problem...
It's okay to have a different culture. Stop trying to be like the South. Like, that's what I want New England coaches to embrace. We have our culture. They have theirs, right? Boston have a culture. Hartford got a culture. New Britain got a culture. Boston dudes don't come to the Hartford game and say, I'm wearing white tees and Timbs. Maybe they do that in Boston. I don't know. But hypothetically, if that's the culture of Hartford, we all rocking white tees and Timbs. Boston don't come here and try to do that. And we don't go to Boston and try to, you know, let's say they on they.
To me, you create culture.
You have your own culture.
You create culture. You as the coach, head coach, assistant, whatever. I think that
a bigger culture. You programmatic cultures and regional cultures are different. For instance, the region of New England culture is completely different than the region of.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not even.
Now, of course, Hartford culture is different than East Hartford culture, is different than Bloomfield culture, but regionally, we got to stop trying to be like the South. We always go, oh, that's what they doing in the South. So what? The South also listening to some dude you never met. Should I go get you his DVD or his CD? I don't even know if people listen to CDs anymore. Or should I download his album and send it to your cell phone? Dude, it's a different culture. We not going to do what they do in the South. They may cut kids down there. You ain't gonna do it up here because you'll lose your program. If you take 16 kids to the level, you're gonna lose your program. Because we have kids that quit. They'll go through 16 kids a whole season. Nobody quits. Everybody shows up to every game. Here, try 16, Tito. I see how many games you.
You won't make it. You won't make it through the season. You won't.
You won't make it through the season.
We not. We not.
You keep making it. Coaching a super team is sometimes harder.
Oh, no, a super team will absolutely ruin your program.
It's harder to manage. Be clear.
Right.
Coaching a super team is not harder to win. It's harder to manage.
It's hard to keep together. Eventually, it falls apart.
I I see what you're saying, and if I saw this, I would 100% support someone moving on to coach who will develop the player.
That's all we're trying. Well, I'm trying to get people to realize it's all related. Everything that nobody's wrong here. All these things have played in to Phil's original point. You won't be selfish as a parent if you don't look like, if you've been to Florida 3 times and you say, oh, you know what, I'm over this whole thing, and you want to do something else with your son because you feel it's going to develop him better, you're not wrong for that. But winning, the other part of that is winning cloudies that vision as well. And certain people get locked on that part of it at their own kids' development. Is that a better way to say it? There's people that get locked on. People get locked on to the thought of winning, and sometimes it comes at the cost of your own child's development.
100%. Listen, it's part of the game, the decision-making process that parents have to make of balancing success, because we all want our kids to experience success. I mean, look, when my daughter ran track for Illing in Manchester High School, bro, in the relay, I was on my edge of the seat wanting them to come in first place. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that there's a dope track program like over in Bloomfield that was interested in, dang, you know, this girl can run, bro. And so you balance like the talent, the winning, location, driving, financials. Let's not forget, all of this stuff play a role. How much money does their registration cost? How far is the field? Can I afford it? Can I afford that development? Maybe I can only afford a development level 2. Even though Tito a 5, I can only afford a level 2. Not that Tito costs money because I can register for his program. But can I commit to Tito's? Because development comes at a cost. Tito, when you start to go play for coaches, it comes at a cost. It comes at when you're on the super team and they've been together 5 years, guess what, Tito? Kids usually could come when they want and not. And guess what? Everybody knows what everybody's already playing.
Right.
But guess what happens when you playing for Tito?
Again, that comes right. It comes
like
at a
Tito
cost.
Ain't letting you show up 30 minutes practice late and be a starting running back every day.
No, it's not happening.
Even if Tito ain't gonna win as much as them, it's gonna be a standard. But that's the development part that parents who say they want development, they gotta swallow that. When they show up to field practice, I say, yo, go home. If you over 25 minutes late, you can't practice today. Yo, but I had traffic and I was busy. Damn, I had to go to. I respect all that. Just come next time. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to fight. But my rules say if you after 25 minutes, you can't practice today. That's development. Or go back to the team you was on that's going to win, and you can show up 30 minutes late and just jump into your guard tackle position that you played the last 5 years with the same coach. When development comes in different forms. I'm not sure that everybody realized development isn't only, now I know how to get in a 3-point stance. No, part of development is teaching you discipline. I show up to practice on time. I'm ready to practice. I do what the coach say. I'm there for 2 hours. I get 2 hours of work. That's also the development. If nothing more, I leave Tito knowing how to practice properly. I know how to respect a coach. I know how to talk to a coach, and I understand how to practice. I won when I get to high school.
And you're going to learn, you want to take skills that are transferable to the next level. That's the key to this. Learning skills that are going to translate at the next level. That starts with practice. That starts with knowing where you fit in on a team. That knows to understand the discipline it takes to be on the team and following what your coach is telling you to do. Now, that all comes at a cost. And a commitment, showing up every day. Showing up and wanting to work.
Kyle, I disagree. Kyle, because you got 3 months.
You got to hold the standard. You got to hold the standard.
3 months to practice, 2 hours a day. You absolutely can develop while trying to win Look, I don't think you can win a national championship without development. The team that shows up on July 15th this year, if you're the same team on December 13th, odds are you're not going to be the national champion. Just not. Very few times, Tito, is the best team an all-star team that didn't develop. I'll tell you, for instance, I watched the Naples Hurricanes. I don't know what they look like in the beginning, but I can tell they're doing some coaching by just watching that line play. Me and you talked about that, right? Like you can tell by looking at a team if a team is practicing, if their kids know what they're doing. And me, I'm not gonna throw nobody secret, but me and you even got down to the of looking at certain offenses and the little things that they did with making sure their alignment right and who's making certain calls to make sure the quarterback know when to hike. Like there's coaching going on. If you look at the teams that won national championship.
Great coaching. I'm going to say this: great coaching is boring to watch because great coaching is
repetition.
You don't fear the man that does 1,000 things. You fear the man that does a couple things very well. You get what I'm saying? That's coaching. Running 2-3 plays, no matter what you throw at them, we're running these plays and we're going to run them successfully.
Oh, Tito, I don't agree with that one, but
Bro, we watch Naples do it.
I got you, but I don't agree. I mean, if you watch college football, you see great coaches running a multitude.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is all of them got their couple things they do that when it's money time, this is what we're doing. You get what I'm saying? When Harbaugh was in Michigan, they're gonna run power football. Like when Saban was at Alabama, power football. They're gonna match you up on defense.
I don't know, man.
What they do, they're doing what they do. The great ones do what they do. They do what they do very well, very well.
I agree that I agree with that statement. I don't agree with the statement. They don't do a lot of things. They do a little bit of things, and they do them very well. I think a good coach can teach a high IQ football team to do a lot of things very well. I think to me, the biggest part of being a head coach is knowing your football team. To me, like if you can't figure out your high IQ football players and your low IQ football players, you have a problem as a head coach because you're going to put your people in wrong position. Yo, dude, I had kids, Tito, that had all the talent, ability in the world to be a quarterback, but I couldn't put them there because the way I run football, it requires a high IQ football player at quarterback. It requires a vocal player at quarterback. Just my system. I can't get a kid that's shy at quarterback. My quarterback is asked to do and say certain things. And so I recognize early, damn, Tito, nice. But I got to use him at wide receiver. This dude don't talk. Or, I can't have him at linebacker. He's not going to call my defense. He's just going to get there and be quiet. To me, I think that a good coach recognizes those players and will be able to teach as much as they can handle. I think I'll say it like that. I think a good coach, the ones I fear, recognize their team early and they give their kids as much as they can do. I hate playing against a team that run multiple offense. I'd rather a system coach. That's just me, though. That doesn't mean I'm automatically going to win. That's just what I prefer. Kyle Jenkins, no, it's not. Develop and practice. Winning is the product of that. Will you go to the Natty every year? Probably not, but set the expectation that development comes first. Every one of these points that's being expressed, each program goes through every year. Funny thing is nobody is wrong. It's all relative. True.
Well, that's why we wanted to have the conversation.
Ty Carter is absolutely right. I'm speaking more for the older kids like 13U. Hey, New Britain and Westland, y'all on the clock. Look like y'all just scheduled the game. Kyle, what up? That's very true. Tito about to run the buck sweep.
Every which way.
1,000 times. They run 6 plays, 100 formations. Same plays out of different formations.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's what most people do. KYP, what that stand for, Carlton? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
What does KYP stand for? Is that an acronym? Like Army and Navy, you never know where they're going, but you have to stop it. True. I mean, you kind of know they're going to run the ball, but listen, I wish I could do that offense, bro. I wish.
Dennis just told me today Springfield's throwing a clinic for $25 at Springfield College. They run that. That's what they run. For $25,
I can play quarterback for Springfield.
Yeah, they have They have.
Oh,
They're having a clinic at the end of
KYP. I like that
oh,
acronym. I'm gonna steal it. Thanks. Know your personnel, KYP. I'm stealing that acronym. That's my new acronym. Anyway, Tito, I just think, brother, that those that I think those coaches, and this is why I'm a fan of. This is why I was a fan, Tito, of starting earlier. See, I'm a coach that's very much about the mental part of the football game. So I do want to learn my players. I want to learn their IQ as early as possible. I want to learn how much can you take mentally in the game of football right now on July 15th. How much can you take? Right? Because if I know that Tito got amazing talent, but let's take Carl, Tito. You remember Carl. You coached Carl in the All-Star game. When Carl came to me, Carl did not understand football. I told you the first scrimmage I was at, I put Carl, and he came late. I think he played like a week and a half after he got there because he got his time in, and I put him at tackle, bro. We was out in Stratford at a jamboree, and Carl ran a post corner from the guard tackle spot, and the refs all started busting out laughing, and I just told the ref, like, just give me a second, like, give me a second. And it wasn't until the state championship, and I'll never forget, and Mike and Keith can attest, he made a tackle against New Haven. He turned to the sideline. He jumped up and down. He said, Coach, I get it now. I'm the biggest kid on the field. They can't stop me. Now, this is a kid that grew up in DR. He's from Haiti. He spoke 5 languages right now. He is at Windsor High School. He's he's probably 6'5", 300 pounds. Maybe he slimmed down, maybe about 295. Like, became an amazing talent. But when he first showed up in Hartford, he would not even come to the practice field if I wasn't there, because since I introduced myself to him first, he only thought I was his coach. He didn't understand Phil and Tito coach together. You could go to the field. He used to stand up there. I don't go to practice unless I see Phil because Phil's my coach. I don't know what the rest of y'all doing. I had to go explain to him and his mom, no, I might be late, but he still have to go to the field. I had to learn that early. Okay, I can teach this, but I got to slow down on this. I think that's a great thing. One of the best kids I've ever coached, Carl. I loved his mentality. I loved it all. The earlier you start, like Wayne said, shout out to Wayne, the earlier you start, the more you can engage your kids on what they know, right? Then you can teach it from there. Now, look, it doesn't mean, Tito, I agree with you. Tito's going to run, like, let's take the Buck sweep. I ain't saying you're going to run it, but let's assume you're going to run it, right? Because everybody know you love that play. High IQ, low IQ, you're going to learn Tito's Buck sweep. Case closed. Don't matter if you like it. Don't matter if you dislike it. Don't matter if you high IQ.
Don't matter if you can't do it. You're going to do it because, again, I know how to teach it. It's one thing I know how to teach. So it's always going to be part of the system.
You're going to force feed that play, which is cool. There's certain things that every kid, high IQ, low IQ, must know. My point is, beyond those plays, and I seen you do this even last year, how much do you dump on them outside of the base determines the talent, the IQ,
everything. Everything. So every year, I will tell you, with me, because I've done other things. If I don't fit the square peg in a round hole, so if we can't do it
last year, bro, you went to the eye.
If we can't do it, we don't do it. Now there's some things that are gonna carry over. There's some things that are carry over, but like for instance, last year we could run the Buck sweep, but we couldn't. Like we had the backs that could do it, but the line couldn't, so we couldn't do it. Therefore, I didn't force it. We went more to a stretch and ISO type game, and that worked for those kids. Like, but you gotta, the basis of your thoughts is what matters, and knowing how to adjust them to your personnel. Like the guy said, know your personnel. You got to know your personnel, and then you go from there. But you're right, Wayne. The Buck sweep will never die. It's probably, in my opinion, it's one of the greatest plays in football. But
tell me why.
Well, because it's the perfect.
I just need you to explain it because you've been doing.
It's the perfect mix. It's the first of all. It's the perfect mix of deception, power, and finesse. Is that an easy enough explanation?
I understand it. I hope they do. And let me tell y'all why I asked. Tito, you need to mention that you've been doing, because everybody haven't seen it. If you guys aren't friend with Tito Career Facebook page, you might want to go. So Tito's been doing. Go ahead, explain them what you've been doing weekly.
Well, the chalk talks, but I've been doing it for years. I just restarted them again, doing them more consistently. But we're having chalk talks a couple times a week where we're talking about things I've done in the past and things that interest me. Obviously, it's always going to be related, football related. But the catch is I don't teach anything youth, as you know. Like I don't teach youth schemes. I don't believe in youth schemes. We teach real schemes, and I've figured out a way to explain them for the youth level, so it's all transferable to what we do down here. So that's the things we talk about. I don't get too exotic. We just keep it real baseline, but it's a chance for people that are looking for systems or looking for a place to start. It's a chance for you to find some baseline information. At this point, I got like 70-something videos over
right on the board behind you, LJ.
Yeah, nice try, LJ. Nice try. Nice
Yo,
try.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. You've been feeding LJ a lot of football knowledge, so I'm a little uncomfortable with that. I'm not gonna say why. LJ understand why. Assignment football kills the Buck sweep. Boom! Talk about it, Carlton.
Not true. Not true. not true at all. Number one, Buck sweep. Buck sweep is the main play. Buck sweep is the main play in a series of play. You take away the Buck, something else is going to be open, and we're going to get back to the Buck. Trust me, we're going to get back there. And there's things we can do that I'm going to make it go, dog. It doesn't matter what you put out there. I'm going to make it go.
Listen, y'all better not get him started. He'll be up here at 1 a.m. going, then stop it. Meet me at the field. I'll pull. He'll wrap around, and it'll be going crazy. Not true. If I carry my fate good, there go Wayne. Y'all getting these Wing T guys revved up. Wayne and Tito gonna be up here at 1 a.m.
Yo, they're in LaPorte. Like I told you, we had a Wing T team win the national championship. This LaPorte Indians from Indiana, right? They won it, right? They won the D1. They won D1, right? 10U or 9U, whatever. They were a straight up Indiana style Wing T team that did what they did very well. Didn't do much. Did a couple things, and they was dicing cats up. They was dicing cats up.
Spooky, this is awesome.
They won 10U, Tito.
You're D1 or D2? D1 or D2? D2, I think.
D2.
Incredible.
Yep. Don't matter. They had. Remember, I called you during the week. Like I got I got my favorite team I wanted to watch.
Yep. That was your favorite team. That wasn't the pink team, was it?
No, they had the best uniforms. That was Santa Margarita Cowboys. That pink. They had the turquoise with the pink.
Santa Margarita.
That's what I told you. You got to go with the orange face mask. You got to bring that up here.
We can't. Take the trap after you think you have the
Absolutely. Buck. And listen, and if they stop both of those, you hit them with the waggle and waggle. Keep
wide
the
open, wide open quarterback.
Every time. Take away one, take away the other. Here we go. Woo. Corner route to the back of the end zone. Here we go.
Run the Sally.
The Sally's on the YouTube page. Go to Coach Korea. I got a fine explanation of the Sally play there. Probably one of my best presentations. The Sally plays on there.
There's fake, and then their power was crazy.
Yeah, no, they're probably talking about LaPorte. He's talking about LaPorte. Oh, yeah, their power was unstoppable. Their power was unstoppable.
Hey, anyway, it's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140. This was a great podcast, very insightful. And you know what we do, where we do, and where we do it. Every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, tap in. We're going to be more consistent, and we are going to do something special for y'all one of these weeks. We're not going to talk about it, but we're going to come to you live and direct from the new Mecca. But we'll talk about it later. But it's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140.
It's your boy Coach Korea the General. Peace to the gods and the earth.
Peace to the gods and the earth. And let me tell y'all something, man. Treating people right is better than posting Bible verses on your Facebook page that you will never follow. Just remember, treat people good. 2025, it's your boy, and we are out. T5000. Love. We got a fun-filled show tonight.
I met a boy today.
It's your boy Coach Korea the General. A60 Army.
She She loving my style every time I'm
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited 6 or 8 you down to Nationals.
I'm around. She caught me
When certain people don't get their way or they feel slighted, they feel like they have a right to call us and voice their opinion. You don't.
The hood, we locked the
Clear. I've never removed a staff to allow a staff to move up.
No,
Never.
that's not what I'm
Now
saying.
everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town.